Hello, today I'm looking at Majjhima Nikaya number 73, which is the MahaVacchagotta Sutta, that is translated as the Greater Discourse to Vacchagotta. The location is Rajagaha, the bamboo grove and the squirrel sanctuary, and the people mentioned in the text are Buddha and Vacchagotta, who's described as a wanderer. So Vacchagotta meets up with Buddha, and after exchanging pleasantries, Vacchagotta says to Buddha, "We have had conversations for a long time, Master Gautama. Perhaps you can teach me in brief the wholesome and the unwholesome." Buddha replies, "I'll give you a brief answer. Greed is unwholesome, non-greed is wholesome. Hate is unwholesome, non-hate is wholesome. Delusion is unwholesome, non-delusion is wholesome." So that's the defilements. He then goes on, "Killing living beings is unwholesome, abstention from killing is wholesome. Taking what is not given is unwholesome, abstention from taking what is not given is wholesome. Misconduct in sense pleasures is unwholesome, abstention from misconduct in sense pleasures is wholesome. False speech is unwholesome, abstention from false speech is wholesome. Malicious speech is unwholesome, abstention from malicious speech is wholesome. Harsh speech is unwholesome, abstention from harsh speech is wholesome. Gossip is unwholesome, abstention from gossip is wholesome." Did I say that right? Gossip is unwholesome, abstention from gossip is wholesome. Covetousness is unwholesome, uncovetousness is wholesome. So that's the precepts. And then goes on, ill will is unwholesome, non-ill will is wholesome. Wrong view is unwholesome, right view is wholesome. And Buddha concludes, these are the 10 wholesome and unwholesome things. When a monk has abandoned craving, cut it off at the root like a palm stump, so it is no longer subject to future arising, then that monk is an arahant, with taints destroyed, is completely liberated through final knowledge. Vacchagotta then says, "So, apart from Master Gautama, is there any follower who has achieved this?" "Vaccha," replies Buddha, "there are many hundreds." "And bhikkhunis, or nuns, are there any who have achieved enlightenment?" "Many hundreds," came the reply. "And what about lay followers? One who is clothed in white, leading a life of celibacy?" "These people," says Buddha, "there are many hundreds who with the destruction of the 5 lower fetters will reappear spontaneously and there attain final nibbana without ever returning from that world." So just a reminder, the 5 lower fetters are defined as belief in the self, doubt, adherence to rites and rituals, sense desires and ill will. Vacchagotta continues, "So apart from them, is there any male lay follower clothed in white, enjoying sense pleasures, carries out instructions, responds to advice, gone beyond doubt, free from perplexity, gained intrepidness, become independent of others and the teacher's dispensation?" "Yes, there are many hundreds," came the reply. "And what about a woman lay follower, clothed in white, leading a life of celibacy, who with the destruction of the 5 lower fetters will reappear spontaneously and there attain final nibbana without ever returning from that world?" "Yes, there are many hundreds," was the reply. Vacchagotta then repeats the question, this time asking about women lay followers enjoying sense pleasures, and carrying out instructions, and again the replies are many hundreds. Vacchagotta then repeats the complete list of those who follow Buddha with their various stages of adherence, and points out that the holy life is complete in this respect. Buddha replies, just as the river Ganges slopes and flows towards the sea and eventually reaches the sea, so too must Gautama's assembly, with its homeless ones, with its householders, inclines towards Nibbana, slopes towards Nibbana, and reaches Nibbana. So sort of the gradations of scale of liberation. Magnificent, responds Vacchagotta. Master Gautama has made the Dhamma clear in many ways. I go to Master Gautama for refuge, to the Dhamma and to the community of monks, or the Sangha. Vaccha, Buddha says, for one who formerly belongs to another sect and desires full admission in this Dhamma and discipline, lives on probation for 4 months. At the end of 4 months, if the other monks are satisfied with him, they give him full admission of the bhikkhu state or monkhood. Vacchagotta replies, I will not only live on probation for 4 months, I will live on probation for 4 years. So Vacchagotta joined the community of monks, the Sangha, and received full admission. 2 weeks after his full admission, so I'm assuming from this that we're now talking about 4 years and 2 weeks later than the first conversation. So Vacchagotta went to Buddha after his full admission, stated that he, Vacchagotta, had attained whatever can be attained by the knowledge of a disciple in higher training. Please teach me further, he asked Buddha. And Buddha responds, develop further 2 things, serenity and insight. When these are developed further, they will lead to the penetration of many elements. To the extent that you may wish, may I wield the various kinds of supernormal power. Having been one, may I become many. Having been many, may I become one. May I appear and vanish. May I go unhindered through a wall, an enclosure, a mountain, as though through space. May I dive in and out of the earth, as though through water. May I walk on water without sinking, as though it were earth. Seated cross-legged, may I travel in space like a bird. With my hand, may I touch and stroke the moon and the sun. May I wield bodily mastery as far as the Brahma world. You will attain the ability to witness any of these aspects, having achieved a suitable state. To the extent that you may wish, may I, with the divine ear element, which is purified and surpasses the human hearing, surpasses the human, hear both kinds of sounds, the divine and the human, there that are far as well as near. You will attain the ability to experience any aspect, having achieved a suitable state. To the extent that you may wish, may I understand the minds of other beings. May I understand a mind affected by lust as affected by lust, a mind unaffected by lust as unaffected by lust. May I understand a mind affected by hate as affected by hate, a mind unaffected by hate as unaffected by hate. May I understand a mind affected by delusion as affected by delusion, a mind unaffected by delusion as unaffected by delusion. So it continues in the same vein, stating about a contracted mind as contracted, a distracted mind as distracted, an exalted mind as exalted, an unexalted mind as unexalted, a surpassed mind as unsurpassed, and a surpassed mind as surpassed, an unsurpassed mind as unsurpassed, a concentrated mind as concentrated, an unconcentrated mind as unconcentrated, a liberated mind as liberated, an unliberated mind as unliberated. You will attain the ability to witness any of these aspects, having achieved a suitable state. The sutta then continues in a similar vein with regard to the recollection of many past lives, seeing beings arise and reappear according to their actions. So this is a repeat of Sutta 51, where it goes through in detail on the viewing of past lives and so on. It continues, to the extent that you may wish, by realizing with direct knowledge, enter upon and abide in the deliverance of the mind and deliverance by wisdom that are taintless with the destruction of the taints. You will attain the ability to witness any aspect therein, having achieved a suitable state. The Venerable Vacchagotta was delighted and rejoiced in these words from Buddha. He paid homage to Buddha and departed. Before long, dwelling alone, withdrawn, diligent, ardent, and resolute, the Venerable Vacchagotta, by realizing for himself with direct knowledge, here and now entered upon and abided in that supreme goal of the holy life. Birth is destroyed, the holy life has been lived. What had to be done has been done. There is no more coming to a state of being. The Venerable Vacchagotta became one of the Arahants. This was recognized by Buddha, who said to some visiting monks, "The Bhikkhu Vacchagotta has attained the threefold true knowledge and has great supernormal power and might. And deities have also told me this." And that's the end of Majjhima Nikaya number 73. Thanks for watching.